my guy. How you feeling, man?
Bro, I'm feeling good. Been back from the Philippines for like 2.5 weeks now. Just had a good Christmas, New Year's with the family, so no complaints.
Happy holidays to you and the wife and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Or
My
for real,
God.
for real, for real. Sharon, man, listen, bro. How are you feeling? Were you expecting to get 1,000,000 views, dog? 1,000,000 views in a day, fam?
I definitely wasn't expecting 1 million in a day. I remember speaking to Smugglers, and we were hoping for 1 million in a week. We figured we would do, but we
Right,
didn't think it would be within 24 hours.
fam. You know how long it took JC and Chilla to get 1,000,000 views?
A long time, man. But you know what? I got to give credit where credit's due. That's all Fliptop, and that's all Smugglers. Like, I'm good for maybe 50 to 100,000 views in a day.
So what is my flip top? You get so much traffic.
Thing about Fliptop is in the Philippines, according to what I've spoken to about with Enigma, they
Okay.
have NBA and boxing, which are their two biggest things, and then battle rap and rap. Let's put them all together is their next biggest thing. So like
Wow.
it's bigger. They don't really watch the NFL. They don't watch MLB, NHL. Like they're tuned into battle rap. And the crazy thing is a lot of their MCs like Looney, Smugglers, all those guys, they're the biggest rappers in the Philippines, but they got their platform through Fliptop. So through Fliptop, they became like the biggest rappers in the country.
Mm. So Sharon, you get the phone call, and what is going through your brain when you get the phone call? Are you familiar with Smuggles? Are you familiar with this cat? You have a lot of things going on. Are you even familiar with this cat before you battle him, or?
Yo, so I've battled in the Philippines. I think you covered it in your blog there. So I went with Bender, RIP Bender,
Yes.
and Lo Pesci
Uh-huh.
in 2013. So we went out there, and then Tantrum was out there from the States, Shazam from Sweden. So they had, like an international event.
You are familiar, sir. You are familiar. You're familiar. Yeah, he knows. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was hip to, who these guys were. Now, however, I can't understand really what they're saying, right? But
Mm.
there's a couple English speaking MCs. So I knew Looney, and people are telling me like, yo, the Smugglers dude is a problem. Like he's one of our best guys. And when Enigma called us out there, he wanted us. I battled a guy named Scarm out there that has like 200,000 views. He hired us to do English speaking battles. But I said, yo, I'm going out to the Philippines. I want to get like some exposure to the Tagalog audience. Can I do two battles in one day? Do you have a Tagalog MC that I could battle? And then he set me up with Zydo. And that battle got like 8 million views. It was the first subtitle battle that, I was in English, he was in Tagalog, and he put the subtitles on. And then, since then, I had a devout fan base in the Philippines always asking me to come back. And, I'd hit up Enigma every couple years, ask about it, and then finally he hit me up like maybe a month notice and said like, yo, this is what we got.
Were you expecting to show out the way that was a big crowd? That's Summer Madness 2 crowd on steroids. I said in my blog. That crowd is different.
Yo, it was different, and I didn't know because I went there the first time and it was like 300 people there, maybe 400. This time I don't know, but it seemed like there was like 2,000 people there or something. Like there was a lot of people there, and their crowd is different. Like the crowd in North America, I find, is more hype. Like they're jumping, they're screaming, they have the say it agains. The crowd here is just so respectful. They get in their reaction and then they stop.
And as a battle rapper, you love that, right? I'm pretty sure you love that kind of atmosphere, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love both, right? Like I love how I find like the I don't mean in a diss, but the North American crowd is more emotional. Like they're like, yeah, fuck them up, talk to them. Like they're involved in it, and that hypes me up. But then
Right.
sometimes you have to wait to run the bars back, and it throws you off. But here they're just so peaceful. They do their reaction.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Sharon. Uh-oh.
1 second.
You good, brother. You good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
So it's a different type of crowd. They're definitely more reserved.
Mm. Were you excited also because Smuggles has been battled a 6-year hiatus?
Yeah, I was really excited. I knew it was good for the scene for him to come back because, you know, we have legends that we're waiting on, like Briz Rothstein, right? If he gets announced to come back, that's huge. And you know, there's other people obviously that
Right.
you know, Lux hasn't even battled, I think, in a couple years.
Shine
Daylight,
hasn't battled in a while. A lot of people
Shine,
haven't
yeah.
battled
So
in a while, right? Mhm.
yeah, so 6 years is a long time though.
So, are you able to enjoy the battle there compared to maybe when you watch it on when you watch it back? I would think, right?
Yeah, it was cool because I went to the event, right? And I was standing and listening to the couple battles before me. And I can't understand a word these guys are really saying, but
Mhm.
you see the energy in the crowd, and I start like reacting to the bars just because like the way he delivered it was dope and the crowd's going. I'm like, yeah.
You gotta sell it also, right, Charron? You
Yeah.
gotta sell it
I'm
also.
fake reacting to the bars. I'm like, that sounds dope.
Yeah. And you know what I noticed about Smuggles though? He appreciated you. You
Yeah.
know, when you were rapping and everything like that. I don't want to say this is a compliment battle, but did it feel like that a little bit though?
It's different, right? But like the crazy thing is flip top is clearly the biggest league in the world. Like people could debate. I know here they say if it ain't URL, it doesn't count, but
Those
flip
numbers
top,
don't lie, sir. Those numbers don't lie over there.
yeah, I see people saying the views are bought, but it's like they can't be buying views for 15 years. Those aren't bought views. Those maybe they don't I don't think they engage in the comments as much as the URL crowd and
No.
RB crowd,
Oh,
but those are real views. Like you see the crowd that comes out. Those are real people coming out. Now, the crazy thing is even though that they're the biggest league, they still look at North America as big bro. Like they're talking like, yo, Murder Mook, Solomon,
mm.
Diz, Geechee, Sirius Jones, like they're our heroes. Even though they do more numbers than them. Like if you look at their average
That's
views,
crazy. That's
yeah,
crazy
but
how that
they
works, right?
look up to King of the Dot RB and URL, like, oh, you guys are we want, you know, not your acceptance, but like you guys are our heroes and stuff, even though they're the bigger league.
That's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man. The crowd receptive to you. You worried about that at all? But you battled it before, so obviously you have a fan base building it and everything like that. I guess the better question is, when you first battled there, were you worried about the crowd being receptive than the way they are now because they know who you are?
That's a good question as well. I mean, when I go to a place or a league or a country, I always do my research and try to make my content easily digestible and relatable. So I knew when I was doing some stuff for the people back home, I'd bar out for like 8, 12 bars. And I know it's not going to get reaction, but it's just, you know, to entertain the people back home. And then I'll make a Filipino reference that the crowd will react to.
You
So I
did
try to
a smart move on your part. You got to do that though, right?
For sure. I mean, at the end of the day, we're entertainers. As much
Right.
people say, "Oh, it's hip hop, it's rap, you need to bar out." Yeah, but you're also there to entertain the paying customers and attendance. So you always have to make sure you say stuff that the crowd is going to like in person.
Did you get nervous when Smuggles got behind you? Were you like, yo, what's going on right now?
Yo, I didn't know what was going on. And when the midget came out, I was like, "Yo, what did I get myself into?"
But you know, on my words of my mother, I knew already. I said, okay, rookie mistake, respectfully, Smuggles. You're bringing up the midget, it's going to hit a little bit, but Sharon is going to flip this shit. He's going to find a way to flip this shit, though. So, in the back of your brain, are you thinking, like, all right, I got you, and I'm going to flip this and make
Well,
it do this?
yeah, I mean, I know they love rebuttals out there, so I try to typically like I was hoping to rebuttal more than I would like back home. If I'm battling, you know, on King of the
Mhm.
Dot, UW, URL, I may do like, you know, a one rebuttal or something, then get out. But like there I realized that, you know, they're gonna respond to the rebuttals a lot more than my written material. So I was hoping to, and I can't understand what he's saying. So I'm like, I have to look at what he's doing and try to if he's going behind me, that's a rebuttal. He pulls out a midget, that's a rebuttal. He raps in English, that's a rebuttal. But if he just rapped in Tagalog the whole time, I'm not rebuttaling.
Right. What are you talking about? Didn't Smuggles rebuttal something?
Yo, I didn't know he rebuttal, but I was watching it back and I'm like, oh, he
Right.
rebuttal.
Yeah, he rebutted because I'm hearing here's the thing, as a blogger, I gotta stop it. I gotta read the subtitles to read what he's saying and stuff like that. Were you able to go back and watch the battle to see what he was saying and certain things to you?
Yep, I had no idea. I remember his loudest reaction. He was doing the da 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 da, and then he said, "Make some noise for nothing" or whatever. And you could see me live. I'm nodding my head, looking like, yo, I don't know what he's saying, but I'm getting cooked right now. But we got to give credit. I think he was inspired by Pat Stay for that line when he went out to Germany and said, "Make some noise if you have AIDS."
Yeah, yeah. And did he? What was that chant you guys were doing? Bobots? What was that? Am I saying pronouncing it?
Yo, the craziest thing was I was just Googling insults in Tagalog, and one of them that popped up was BOBO.
Okay.
And I like put on pronunciation how to say it. And I guess it's more like Bobo, but I said it
Yeah.
like Bobo. And it's like,
Well,
it means like you idiot, you dimwit, something
right.
like something like that. You're stupid. And I said it, but it just sounds like the way they say it is like they don't say it Bobo, they'll say like Bobo or something. And they
Mm.
just went crazy and they started chanting it. And I did not expect it to get that reaction. I just thought it was me saying you idiot in
Yeah,
Tagalog.
'cause they started chanting that and everything like that, man. You know what I mean? And he flipped your little look at me when I'm kissing you or some shit like that.
Yo, the funny thing is, which I didn't really realize till I went back out
Yeah.
there, is they love making gay jokes. Like even to bring up again, Pat Stay would always do the pause jokes and,
Yes, he
and
would.
do the awkward sexual humor. Like they do that. They say gay jokes for fun.
Right,
They
man.
pretend to be gay.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. So listen, man. A million views. I'm pretty sure. What do you do after a battle like this, though, Charron? Like when you get views like this.
Bro, it's just the same thing at this point. Like I think I battled for 15 years or something, and I'm just adding on to my legacy. Like it's never about the money for me. I just want to travel the world. I want to go to different cities. I want to rock the big stages. I still want to do a Gnome and Blue Room and all that. And
Mm.
bro, I just love. I think I'm just addicted to battle rap. Like I just love battle rap. I love putting on for the culture. I love talking to the fans about battle rap. Like it's just my passion.
Wow. How long? So let me ask you. Describe your 2023, if you mind me asking. Battle rap wise for you. Can you describe it for me?
Yeah, I mean it was pretty quick to describe. I battled Hollow to Dawn at the charity event, the Pat
Mhm.
Stay Forever, and we actually brought back Jin for the
Yes,
battle.
yes, yes.
So
Uh-huh.
Hollow and I sacrificed our third round to bring out Jin versus Ilmac, just because it was big for the scene and having Jin back. I battled Big K on the Blackout card, where people say it was maybe Big K's only blemish on his record
Listen,
this year.
let's stay right there. Let's stay right there. I did a blog on this, right? Respectfully, I had Big K winning every battle this year. I had him beating A Ward. I had him beating Rex. I had him beating Mook, right? I had you beat him.
Thank you.
You're the only person that I felt like some people say it's debatable, but if you want to play that game, fair enough. But I still felt Charron did enough to pull that out. I thought you won that. I don't got you losing a lot of battles, brother. Respectfully, I don't got you losing a lot of battles. Your win. Let me ask you a question, because in battle rap, there's always a conversation about the win-loss resumes in battle rap. Do you think your win-loss resume doesn't get spoken about as much as it should?
I mean, I
You
don't know
consider
if it does.
a smack killer, my guy. They call you a smack killer. Like that is crazy when you think about it. Obviously, when you get that kind of name, that means you're whipping ass. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I have a obviously I have losses on my record. I have like
yeah,
113 battles. I've lost
yeah.
I've lost probably like 10 to 15 battles or something, but if you look at the win percentage, I'm probably in like the 80-90 percentile for winning. So yeah, it's just I always give it 100%. So that's the thing. Like every time I've had a performance that people didn't think I did well in, it had nothing to do with trying or preparation. It's just you can't always be on point. So
Absolutely,
I at least
absolutely.
try my best every time.
Mm. You've been listening what 2009, right?
Yep.
Did you expect to be here this long?
Man, I never expected battle rap to get this big, right? I don't think anyone really did. Like when we started in King of the Dot, and well, they started in 2008. When I started in 2009, we were in alleys, so we were battling for 20, 30 people with just a cameraman that was a friend of Organic. As far as I know, I don't even think URL started yet. I know there was the Smack DVDs, but I
Mhm.
think URL started after King of the
Yes.
Dot.
Yes.
So, like URL obviously took over North America and became the
Mhm.
biggest league, but we didn't even know that was even possible, right? I thought
Mhm.
Smack DVD was done with. So I
Mhm.
never expected, everything that RBE's accomplished, Don't Flops accomplished, Flip Top, King of the Dot, Smack. Like I never knew that there would be people rap battling in different languages. I don't
Wow.
think any of us did.
Right. Right.
So
Um, you're not winning a title on King of the Dot. Does that bother you at all? Even though you're Hall of
yes,
Fame, yeah.
it pisses me to fuck off. And it doesn't piss. I'm not mad at anyone but myself because you only have yourself to blame. And I'm gonna win it before all said and done. I don't
Really.
care if I lose 3 times. I don't care if I lose 4 times. I don't have pride. I don't have ego. If I lost, at least I put myself out there and tried. But I'm eventually gonna win that shit because I want it just for legacy talk.
So, all right. So, real deal. You feel obviously you feel you lost the real deal battle, right?
Well, it was a split decision, so I think that it could have went either way, but I think
Mhm.
he did enough to win, and I think, technically, I guess I didn't do enough to win because he won. But it was like it was a 3-3 decision, and then there was
Mhm.
the fan vote, so it was neck and neck. I think he won by like 8% on the fan vote, so it was really close.
And what was the other title match you had against
I battled Pat Stay, and I
that
felt
stage? That
I
Pat,
felt
yeah.
Pat Stay won. I think it was like
Mhm.
a 4-1 decision, but I
Mhm.
think Pat Stay got the first and the third round, and I got the second. It's just there was a controversy because I was supposed to bring Hollahan on stage, but he found out and like banned it, which it is what it is. Like he had to do what he had to do.
Did you
But
feel
then
a
I
way
didn't
about
really
that?
have a third
Yes,
round.
did you feel a way about that back then?
I did feel a way about it, but basically like Hollahan told someone who told someone, and Pat found out about it and was like, "Yo, Hollahan's not allowed on stage," and basically told Organic there's going to be a fight with my people in Hollahan if he does. And
Wow.
Organic has Drake in the building. He also, people don't know, Drake and Mook was supposed to battle. Did you know that?
I've heard rumblings, but I think Mook told us tidbits of the story. He didn't really go full detail about that though. But that was a real thing.
Mook
That
was in the background rehearsing his Drake bars. Drake was in the building. Drake wanted to do it. Last second, his management said, "No, we're not letting you do this." But this was also like 20, let's say 24 to 72-hour notice. It's not like they had weeks to prepare. This
right,
would
right,
be,
right, right,
this
right.
would probably be like, when Mook battled Adrian Broner, it
Yes.
would be one of those type of things.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want, respectfully, I don't want Mook Adrian Bronner. That's not on my bingo card. Respect at the time and
Fair enough.
everything. You know what I mean? Um, when you got the call for URL, how did that first initial call go?
Initially, what happened was I was supposed to battle Shotgun Suge on World Domination. I think he had a passport issue, and then like 6 days notice, they set up me versus DNA, and then I did a 2-on-2 with DNA. He did some like there was a King of the Dot tour. DNA came, and there was
Mhm.
like a freestyle tournament, and like the top two people, first and second place of the tournament, their main prize was they got to 2-on-2 battle me and DNA. And
Mhm.
then DNA and I became like friends and started talking. And I told him like, "Yo, I want to battle Suge. Can you set that up on URL?" He made a call to, I think it was Beasley, and then they set up me versus Suge on. It was Summer Madness, but it was like the day one of it.
Why have you flourished so good in URL?
What's that?
How come? You flourish so well in URL? What do you equate that to? That you've done so well going over there?
I think the underdog factor. I think there's a lot of people that have my type of image, voice, or sound that don't know how to translate to the URL.
Right.
They're not really adaptable. They don't know how to punch. They're more like angles, jokes, multis, and it works really well in front of like King of the Dot and Don't Flop. But I think to battle on RBE, to battle on URL, I think someone like A Ward is really good at knowing how
Yes.
to cater to crowds, knowing how to punch. I think DNA is really good at knowing his crowds and how to punch and relate. and I think I'm good at that too. Where I think there is a lot of MCs in King of the Dot and Don't Flop that I think would get booed on URL and RB because they don't know how to punch.
So let me ask you this question. Were you shocked that Dizaster, who's a legend in my eyes, right? Hall of Famer, right? My Rushmore candidate and everything. Are you surprised he hasn't flourished on URL the way you did have?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I think Dizaster is a legend, and I think what he does on King of the Dot, what he does in other languages, he's battled in I think he battled in Spanish, and he's probably battled in Lebanese or one of a language similar to that out there. I haven't seen the battles, and Dizaster is really good in front of a white crowd where he could yell, he could do multis, he could do racist jokes, he could do all that stuff. It's his specialty where he could put together 72 bar multisyllabics. They're not trying to hear that shit on RBE. They're not trying to hear that shit on UW. They're not trying to hear that shit on Smack. Like Dizaster, in my opinion, he's great, but what he does, they're not going to fuck with it. And he doesn't have any self awareness. He thinks he could go there and talk about his struggles back home. They're not trying to hear. A black crowd ain't trying to hear about your struggles this year. I'm not going there and doing an autism round saying my struggles and stuff. I have self awareness. So that's why I think I'm
Read the
so
room.
much I think I'm so much better than Dizaster because I actually have self awareness. I know how to battle on other leagues. Where I think he even did an RBE battle, like the COVID battles over like he filmed it in RB. Like ARP actually called time on him. Like you could actually go back. ARP cut it off because it was so trash, and he went on for like 12 minutes or whatever. So, you know, I think I think I could kick Dizaster's ass on any stage, but in front of a white crowd's the only way he'd have a chance because they put up with, his material.
Were you ever alarmed or worried about the fact that he didn't translate when you first came? Like, okay, Dizaster, when we battled the same league, he didn't really translate that well. Here I'm next up to bat because you came before Pat, right? Obviously, you came
I
before
did,
Pat.
yeah. I think Diz battled Rex, and then I
Yes,
battled Suge maybe a year or
yes,
two after.
yes.
Was I worried? No, I wasn't. I wasn't worried because I saw what it was like. I saw what he did wrong, and I just said I'm not gonna go out there and do stupid shit like that. I'm gonna actually come out there and punchline and do what works over there. Yeah, whatever. You have to change your style. It may not be what you're accustomed to doing back home, but you have to adapt to it. If you're a kickboxer and you're going into MMA, you can't just kickbox the whole fucking time. You have to adapt to the game, and that's what Dizaster did.
Charron, were you surprised the way Real Sick soundly beat Diz?
No, I think Real Sick
Like
is
that though,
better than
like
Diz.
that though, like that though, Charron, like this Dizaster we're talking about. Real Sick beat it. I mean, like that. You were shocked?
I'm not taking away anything from Real Sick. I think he should be spoken about in the top 10 for Cody this year, champion of the
Okay,
year. I think
I'm
Real
with you on
Sick
that.
can
I'm with you on that.
I think Real Sick is one of those people that could battle on URL. He could battle on iBattle. He could battle on Don't
Mhm.
Flop. Real Sick's one of the best in the world. I think he is just better than Diz at almost every single element of battle rap. So I was not surprised at all that he won, especially on the Summer Madness stage. And Diz was going out there in like a bodysuit and stuff. Like it was a no brainer that Real Sick would win.
Why haven't you guys battled yet? What's the hold up on you and Diz?
You need to interview him for that one.
It has nothing to do with you, right? It has nothing to do with you at all, right?
It has nothing. And that's the thing. Like, I have respect for Dizaster. He's a legend. I think he should even belong on Mount Rushmore. It's a
Mhm,
hot take, but because
mhm.
he's done so much, he's done the oxymoron battle, he's done the cannabis battle. He was the first one to battle Cassidy, even though
Cassidy,
he
yeah,
lost to Cassidy.
yeah,
It is what it
yeah.
is. He's battled in all these languages and bridged the gap. I think Dizaster is like an international face of battle rap, and he's
Mhm.
had classics. He's had the DNA Classic. He's had the Solomon Classic.
Yes, I
Do I
don't.
think he's good anymore? No, I don't. I think his style's aged poorly, and I would wipe the floor with him. But I think he's still a legend, and I still respect what he's done, and I would never take anything away from his legacy.
You all right? You didn't? Did you like him and Geechee and him and Danny? I thought him and Danny was a good battle. And him and Geechee was a good battle, a good back and forth.
Yeah, it was good, I guess. I find here's my problem with my problem with Disaster is this. He raps for too long. Like I'm not trying to listen to 12-minute rounds, like 15-minute rounds.
Multi
Like
syllables.
yeah, I'm just not trying to hear that. If Diz actually stuck to time limits, I think he'd be a lot better.
Yeah. All right. Last question about Disaster. Is that going to happen? Do you feel at some
I don't
point?
think it will. I don't think it will happen because I don't think he wants to do it. And you know what? If Disaster, he's not even battling right now. From what I think, like I don't really see him active, and I don't want him to do the battle and not have his heart in it and not try. And I think it's like a mega match for King of the Dot. No pun intended, since he's a mega supporter. I mean like an actual mega match for King of the Dot, and like I think it's something he should do for the culture. I think it's bullshit to have your most requested match be something you're avoided. No one's asking for Dizaster versus Calico. No one's asking for Disaster versus Hitman. They're asking for like Disaster versus Charron versus A
Absolutely.
Ward versus
Award.
Roan.
Yes. Yes.
They're
Mhm.
asking for those battles, and Diz, he knows what's gonna happen if he takes that. So
Speaking of you in Rome, when you left as the battle's going on, what's going through your mind when you're on a battle? Are you sitting there like, yo, we got a good one here? Are you saying that as you're listening to the back and forth of you and Roan?
bro, Roan went crazy, and that's the thing. I think he had 3 or 4 years off or something, and
Mhm.
Roan is really good. Like thing about Roan is he's not really that good at punchlines, but he's amazing at flow, cadence, delivery, and he's really good at angles and creative writing. So if he finds someone like myself who he's able to do creative angles and lines against, he's going to have an amazing performance because he's just so original. So when I was seeing the material he was doing, even though I don't find like the bars impressive, like the angles and the attack he chose, I thought was very creative and well done.
Mm. Did you expect you and Chef Trez when you guys battle RB to have a fight? When I speak to ARP, the way he talks about you and Chef Trez, did you know?
So yo, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it would be as crazy as it was. Like
Jesus,
I
man.
I hope that's what I hoped it would be, but you know, the 4 bar rebuttal back and forth, it as much as I'm good and he's good at that, it could just be one of those things where in the moment you're not able to perform that well, right? Because you have to literally freestyle and it could bore the crowd. But I just
Mm.
think the moment was right, the crowd was right, they were willing to react, and they gave us that energy. So I think the crowd had a lot to do with it. Like when I hear the crowd erupting, I'm like,
Mm.
all right, like I feel more confident.
Give me the king of the dot Mount Rushmores.
Pat Stay, Dizaster, like those are 1 and 2. I just always think it's corny to include yourself, so I'll include other people. Bender,
R.I.P. Bender, man.
R.I.P. Bender. He was really dope.
Mm.
There's the thing about Mount Rushmore, right? It's all
Right.
about the forefathers, right? So even
Mm.
let's say Barack Obama, very popular president, he could never be Rushmore because he came into the game late, right?
Mm. Mm.
Rushmore is not going to change. So I
Mm.
think it's the people that set the scene. So I
The
would use
service.
Kid Twist because he was the first King of the Dot champion, you
Okay.
know. But if you're talking about like impact to the scene and everything, you could include like Daylight. He's had a lot of million view battles on King of the Dot. You
Mm.
could include Real Deal. He had a
Hmm.
big champion streak.
Yes, he
But
did.
that's why when I include Rushmore for America, like I
Mm.
would have Mook and Lux because they're the forefathers, right? I would even include Jin because I think his impact with 106 in Park
Mm.
brought in more fans than most people. And then I'd probably include someone like Dizaster or Sirius Jones or Cassidy Reed Dollars. Like I feel it's about the people that put in the work to for us to be able to do what we do. Where like Hitman and Geechee
Mm.
and Surf, they're given the platform and they became the best in it, but they weren't like the originals.
Mm. Wow. Interesting take, though, man. Interesting take, man.
What about you? What's your North America Rushmore?
All right, so let me go ahead for the states real quick first. I got Verb,
Mm.
Rex,
Mm.
Tay Rock. Even though I had you beating Tay Rock also, but I got Tay Rock. I got Tay Rock, and Lux or Mook. I might go. I think I'm throwing Mook in there.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone you listed is just,
But
one of the
again, Mook.
best ever do it.
Here's the thing. I think we need more than one. More than one Mount Rushmore. The Mount Rushmore thing. It could be regional, right?
Yep.
You don't bias. You can't leave Dizaster out. You can't leave certain people out of there. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it is what it is, man. And I think the king of the dot for you guys, I got you, Pat Stay, Dizaster, and Pat. You Diz, Pat. I might got a real deal in there, man.
Real deal, I think is the most criminally
Real
slept
deal.
on in battle rap. He's so
Yeah, I think real deal. How do you feel about Ilmac and Nitty though? I thought it was a fire battle, man.
Ilmac and Nitty is such a fire battle.
Right.
It was my battle of the weekend. I thought it was the best battle. I like that. I like the Mad Flex and Jay the
Oh,
Nightwing.
Jay the Nightwing was fire.
Crazy.
Yo, let me real quick. Mad Flex right now, he's mad on Twitter because I think Black Compass did a list of top battles of the year, right? And they did not add Mad Flex and Jay the Nightwing at all.
Yeah,
You know?
and I think he has a right to be mad, but also to play devil's advocate, it's not like it had a big impact on the culture. Like you have to look at the views wise of it. I think it has like 50,000. It's like one of the least viewed battles of the event, even though I think it was probably the first or the second best of the event. So it just sucks, but popularity plays a big
Yeah,
factor into it.
yeah.
So I think if you're looking at like bar for bar, it's in that list. But if you judge on impact and how many people watched it, not that it means it's better, but it wasn't really an impactful battle. But I just think it sucks that Jay and Mad Flex are slept on because I think they're better than 90% of the people that get more
Mad Flex
praise
is
than them.
fire. Mad Flex is fire.
So good.
Mad Flex is dope. I'm sorry. And Jay the Nightwing had one of the best rounds last year against Geechee Gotti. His third round against Geechee
Oh my
was
God.
out of here. Like that was some real talk. He gave Geechee that third. You know what I mean? For real,
They're
man.
they're they're so talented. And all I can say is don't let that get to you. Like if you get excluded from the list and all that,
Yes.
that's not what, we should be doing this for. We should just do it to do our best. And, I know Mad Flex even says he does this because not for his mental health, like he has problems, but because he loves doing it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just do it and bro, eventually they're gonna have to include Mad Flex on those lists. He just has to keep at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's
The
one of the
Shine
best.
Battle. Talk about the Shine Battle. How you felt about the Shine Battle?
The rematch or the 2-on-2?
The one on one on bullpen. I think it was on right. Bullpen it was right.
Yeah, it was on
Yeah.
bullpen. I think it was really good. Like I thought it was a great performance by him, great performance by me. It was in like 2016, so
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I'd have to go back to YouTube for people to see who they thought won, but I think I did really good, especially considering a lot of people at that point didn't know if I could do well on bullpen, UW, RB, and all that. So I think I held my own. And the original battle, shit, I don't know. It was he knew I had a gun, a prop gun. He knew it wasn't a real gun. He hit it out of my hand. He shouldn't have done that, but also I should have kept my cool and I shouldn't have hit his hat off. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of the problem. And then once you hit someone's hat off their head, especially in the States, yeah, they're gonna put hands on
Yeah,
you.
that's good. That's that. Oh man, Wildin' Out. How'd you get Wildin' Out? How'd that conversation get? You and Nick Cannon and everything like that. How'd that go about?
Nick Cannon called out Eminem for $100,000 battle. Um, like 2 or 3 days later, my mom actually hit me up and was like, "Yo, you got to do something about this." Nick Cannon called out Eminem. I'm like, "Mom, like, what do you want me to do? Like, what? Say like Eminem's our savior of the white rappers, and like you can't go at our boss." I'm like, people will flame me for that. I can't do anything. She's like, no,
Uh,
like, I got mother's intuition. Like, I want you to stand up for Eminem and call out Nick Cannon. I'm like, bro, this is
Mama
a horse.
Sharon.
I got Mama Sharon. Shout out Mama Sharon. I just got to keep it a buck. That's actually how it went down. And
Wow.
I was visiting them, and I live in Ottawa. They live in Halifax, my parents. So it's where
Mm,
Pat lives. It's like a 15-hour drive away, 2 hour flight. So I was visiting them. My mom
mm,
filmed it in their backyard. I uploaded it to YouTube, and originally there's a lot of people hating in the battle rap scene. Not that it wasn't good, but they're like, "Oh, Nick Cannon's never going to see this. You're reaching out for clout." And then within like 2 or 3 days, it got picked up by a lot of blogs and got like 100,000 views or something. And
mm.
I just started a campaign on Twitter and Facebook, like tag Nick Cannon and show him this video. And my fans rallied for me, and Nick saw it, and then he put out a response video. So he was at like his mansion in Beverly Hills, and he did a round against me. It's actually clipped up on YouTube, Charron versus Nick Cannon, my verse and his verse. And I responded to it on his Facebook that just said, "Thank you very much for responding. It's all love. I'd love to end up on Wild 'N Out someday." And then he DM'd me on IG or Twitter, and he said, "I respect your tenacity and gangster. I want you on the show." And then we just started talking, got the work visa, and the rest is history.
That's it. That's dope, my brother. That is dope, man. Last couple questions here. Real sick. Is that a battle that you would take?
Hell yeah, I want to battle real sick. I tried to battle real sick. I'm throwing an event. I actually got a grant from the government to throw an event. So we're throwing an event in Ottawa February 10th. That's going to get some King of the Dot drops. So it's me versus Cali Smooth, A
Okay.
Ward versus 100 Bullets. We got Poe Rich versus Joey Gambello, and then we
Shout out
got
Joey.
we got Apex
Mm.
versus NBS. So it's going to be a really good, good battle.
One thing I like
Sorry,
about
sorry,
you.
my bad.
Uh-oh. Let's get you want to come back here. Wait, well,
Sorry. Can you
no,
hear
you
me?
good, you good, brother.
Yeah,
You
when
good.
my phone rings, it just interrupts
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I gotta go, trust me.
I screwed it up. We actually have we have Joey Gambello is battling NBS, and we have Apex versus Paul Rich. My
Okay.
apologies.
One thing I've always liked about you as a hip hop head, right? How you've always incorporated hip hop bars in your material. You always find a way to throw a big L line in there. You sneak a big L. I appreciate stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You always find a way to do that, man, in your material, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Thank
Pat,
you, bro.
Pat, stay,
Big
man.
L's my goat, by the way.
Ooh, because you go. Okay, I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Um, Pat, stay, man. How'd you take that?
Sorry, can Pat say what?
How'd you take that the news? Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I was on the phone with Dizaster, and we were sombering like two children on the phone. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously that was September of 2022, so it's been over a year, and
Yeah, man.
it was tough. Like I was crying a lot for I was crying on and off probably for like a month or so, to be honest. I'd just catch myself crying, and eventually it sucks to say, but like as time goes on, you still think about them, but you become more numb to it, and you're honoring them, right? But you can't cry for years, right?
Mm.
So, and I know Pat wouldn't want us to cry
No,
or
he would
anything,
not. No, no, he would not.
but in the meantime, I've became friends with his brother Peter Stay. We got to do the events. We got to raise 250K for his son, and that's what he wants us to do. He wants us to keep his name alive. He wants us to keep battling because he loved battle rap. He wants us to make sure his son's taken care of. We give him money, make sure it's properly invested for him. So by the time he's and his daughter too. Sorry, Laura. By the time they're 18,
Mm.
20,
That's
that
dope.
250 is like 500
That's
or
dope.
more, and just make sure that they're set financially because battle rappers, we if that's all you do, you don't have a pension, right? So Pat didn't have a 9 to 5. He did Unreasonable Rob. He did like brand endorsements on IG and stuff, and he battle rap. That was his job. So
Mm.
he needed all the help he could get from us.
That brother loves some West Coast hip hop, boy.
Yeah,
That brother
too
there,
much. Too much.
yo. Pat used to, Pat was. So I'm gonna give a quick story. So before he passed away, right? I interviewed him 2 weeks before that. Now remember him and Game had a back and forth, a little back and forth, right? He FaceTimes me in the studio while he's recording. True story. But he knows how much I love hip hop. So he looked at me, East Coast guy, and he always telling me Tupac. We have Tupac Jay-Z conversations. That dude was a West Coast fanatic of hip hop. Pat Stay, holy mother of God, man.
He loved West Coast.
He love West Coast hip hop, man. Love West Coast hip hop. Really good dude, man. How do you feel about Geechee's third round against Hollahan?
Yeah, it was amazing. Like Geechee's just a professional. He went out there, gave 2 solid rounds for Hollahan, and then the third round he just kind of did a victory lap, or it was amazing. Like Pete Stay, Pat's older brother, was.
I seen that. He hugged him and everything. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah,
he was in tears, and that meant a lot to him that someone of Geechee's stature would dedicate a round to Pat. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Organic didn't have contracts signed, but the next move was Pat versus Geechee was going to main event Blackout.
Wow, dang, wow.
And I know Pat was preparing for a battle. I mean, it's not really public knowledge, but now that's been so long that Pat and T-Top was going to go down on URL.
Yeah, Pat T-Top. I want to see Pat staying goods. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's another one like yourself. He flourished also when he came over here. When he bat on URL and RBE.
We all knew Pat would flourish. We knew Pat would flourish in everything. Like Pat could just walk into any room with any type of person or people, not knowing anyone, and make them laugh. So we knew Pat could do that in any league.
Yeah, man. What's your plans for 2024?
I've never been listed as a champion of the year, top 20 or top 30. What do they do? Do they do top 25, 30?
I think it's top 20.
Top 20.
Yeah.
I want to go top 20.
Okay. The criteria is only 4 battles, basically. That's the criteria.
Yeah, 4 battles.
Right.
I know my Smugglers battle doesn't count, even though it came out January 1st. It was last year. But, the momentum of having first million view battle of the year, I think it's good momentum. And I'm just trying to carry that. And I want to be more active. Like, I'd probably like to do, like in the 5 to 7 battle range.
Really? Okay. Before I let you go, the Nun battle. How you feel about the Nun battle?
Nun battle, it wasn't my best battle. I think Nun won. Basically, the URL hit me up. I just had like the JC battle, Danny Myers, T-Top battle. They wanted me to battle Nun. I said I didn't really want to do it, but they kind of talked me into doing the battle, which was my decision at the end of the day. I told them I didn't want to do it in his hometown, and we signed on the contract that it was supposed to be in Maryland, right? So I thought it was going to be in Maryland, and then like 2 or 3 days before the battle, I got my plane ticket, and it was for Carolina, and I had like a lot of material, like Baltimore related punchlines scattered through it, so I had to switch stuff up last second. I don't think it's there's no excuse, but that's kind of like why I don't think my material was as good as it usually is. But I think Nun won the battle and did a phenomenal job.
All right. My brother, when you get a battle announced, man, let's have a conversation, man. Next time you got something going on, my brother.
Absolutely. And congrats on you're the top media of the year, right?
So they say. I don't know.
You're so humble.
I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate it, but it is what I like having conversations with guys like yourself. That's what I do this for, man. I ain't here for the views or hey, I'm number one. I like having conversations about battle rap and hip hop, and I just keep it moving, man. That's all.
For sure. But if you love something and you're passionate about it, probably feels good to be recognized at the best at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. It did. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I don't go crazy at other guys if I'm 1 or 13. These guys go crazy. Oh, I should be number 1. Bro, 12. Nothing changes for me. You know what I'm saying?
It's an honor just to be recognized as one of the top 10.
That's it, Charron. I've been here for a long time, and just to be recognized, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? So, my brother, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you as well. I appreciate everyone involved in the culture, the bloggers, the media, the fans, the league owners. Like, I find, battle rap family, we're all one, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My guy, Happy New Year again, my man.
Happy New Year, bro. Thank you very much for covering the Smugglers battle.